Hi everybody. Welcome back to Jenkins Boat Works. I am Chuck Jenkins. In this video, we continue working on our Yukon racing kayak. We made big progress, and I know we've had a lot of video come out lately, but we're getting a lot of work done. So this time we are going to finish up stripping the hull. And I'm going to call this one Cheaters, Strippers, and Whiskey. We will install the whiskey strip and put in some cheater strips up near the bow and then get ready to flip her over. So that's a pretty exciting day, any day that you get to flip a boat. I do have some other news and we're quite excited about it. I know a lot of you have recently subscribed to the channel, and we have just now gone over 10,000 subscribers to the Jenkins Boat Works channel. I never, ever imagined that we would get that kind of an audience. So thank you for tuning in. I will do my best to try to continue to provide valuable content. This whole thing started because I felt like there was a lack of reference and material available when I was building the Haven 12.5 sailboat. Now that's a number of years ago, probably 7, 8, 9 years ago, when we started doing some video just to try to help the next builder have some additional, help and reference that they could look at if they were running into a problem. And that's all that it ever was about. Well, it obviously has grown, but that's still what it's about. And so as we're building this kayak, I am in hopes that some other person that's building a Yukon can see what I'm doing and either do the same thing or don't do what I did wrong. So anyway, I suppose at this point we have to acknowledge the idea that there's just a certain entertainment value to it too. And some people just tune in because they like to see what I'm doing. So anyway, thank you, and continue watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. This is, I think, about the 6th episode in the kayak series, and we're really rocking on it. I had to rip a bunch of cedar strips today and get ready to start doing the deck, but we did get the boat flipped over, and we'll have that for you in another video soon. So let's jump in. I'll show you what kind of progress we've made today. We are getting so close to completing the hull. We need our cheater strips up here at the bow. And we got 2 more strips to go in the bottom of the hull. Man, it's really coming along nicely. Just all of about 18 feet. Hi, Toby. Now, once we get that done, we gotta flip it over and do the deck. We got a hole here, and we got a hole here. So we'll do this one. See if we can fill in this gap. Previously, we were able to just mark wherever the strip ran out, but now that we're filling the entire space, it gets a little trickier. So I've got a strip that's cut to approximately the right length, and I'm lining it up with the edges of the smile and just kind of like that, and I'm going to tape it down. Okay, that's pretty tight. Now I'm going to go underneath here with a pencil, and we're going to draw the outline from the inside. So we're underneath the boat. You can kind of see where there's daylight there. You can also see how that strip's kind of bumped up there on the right side. So we're just going to take our pencil and go in there and see if we can draw that line. So I was underneath there, and I was able to take my pencil and draw my line in there. There's a frame right here, so I can't get to the very edge there, but we're gonna mark that to where we know where the edge of that is. Same thing down here. Now we're going to pull this off here and take a look at it and see if we got a mark drawn. I was very happy to note that I didn't see very much daylight, you know, in other strips. There was a little bit right there, but for the most part, pretty tight. Okay, yeah, we got a pretty good line on there. You can see here how it curves up here. Not so strong there, but I can see it. Look at that, it comes right up there. This strip's just the right size. So we're gonna cut on the outside of this line. Okay, so I just roughly cut it out on the band. So I tried to stay outside the line. See how we did. Pretty good. Pretty good. We didn't cut off too much. So we're just going to take the plane and we're just going to start working on this until it'll fit in there. I'm going to be mindful of the grain. I'm not going to go that way because I'll tear that out. You see where that grain is there? If I take the plane and go this way, I run the risk of catching that grain and then splitting it. It's okay to go that way this way because then you're going with the grain, but on this end, we're going to have to go that way. This took quite a while, and I actually cut out some video. You're going to see me take the pencil there and make some reference marks, not only on the strip, but on the boat. That way I know where the strip goes back in as I'm working on it and then planing it down. We're getting close. Okay, right there. That's all good up there now. Right there. This is making me wonder how we're going to do this when we've got the thing flipped over. Because I won't be able to reach in from the underside like that. So in other words, when we're stripping the deck, as soon as we get these strips on here, we got to flip this whole thing over and strip the deck. Because the molds are all one thing, so I can feel down underneath here, the mold that's exposed where we'll be putting the deck on, under there. Take my finger and kind of spread this out on here. Not only does it get it more even, but it'll stay on there better when I go and flip it over to put some glue on the other side. sure glad I had that reference line. Man, that's huge. We call this episode Cheaters, Strippers, and Whiskey. Who knew kayak building could be so fun? All right, so these are called cheater strips when we go to fill this part in here. If you watched one of our first episodes, you saw us bend this 1/2 inch strip down here to create our shear line. So our shear line is the very, well, this is upside down. It's the top of the hull, and it's also the bottom of the deck. So very soon we're going to be flipping this whole thing over, and we'll be doing the deck, which will then put strips in on the underside of this on these frames to mate up with this shear line. So we didn't want it, it was a harsh bend to get this down here like this. So because we're at the bow, you want, you know, some height, so when you're going through the waves or whatever, you cut through it. So these are our cheater strips. So I've got a piece here cut that should be long enough. We're going to fill this in. And so basically what I'm going to do is, just like I've done before, is make a little tick mark here about there where I see where there's some daylight still from this other strip down here. A little mark there, and then just hold it there and see how far it's got to come back to here, and mark that. And then we're going to draw a line from here diagonally up all the way to the end back here. Now that's more than I need, and I don't know if we're going to be able to get the strip thin enough to fit in there, but we'll give it a whirl. So that's a pretty long run there. That's probably close to 24 inches. So it's going to take some work. Kind of, let's see, I do want to make a little mark down here on the, where I think that's going to run out on this strip. Right there. And see, I got plenty long enough extra to sit out over here on the inner stem, because that's going to get glued to the inner stem, and it's going to get glued to this, and when it touches up here, it's going to get glued to this shear strip. So I'm going to go put my yardstick on here from that little tick mark there all the way up to here. I drew my line based on those marks and then took it over to the big bandsaw with the 1/2 inch blade, and I was able to stay on my line pretty good. So let's see how we did. And it's too fat even already right there still, because we still got to come up to here. I can feel it hanging up right there. So now you just take the plane and start playing with it. Just trim that down until we can get it to fit in here. Yeah, now see, I want more of that trimmed off of there though, because I want to be able to slide this further back. Okay, so I took that to the belt sander, and boy, up here we're getting real narrow. So let's see how we're doing here. Well, we made big progress. It's got a little hump right in there. Right there. And that's about the first place where it starts rubbing. I'd like to get this mark here up to about here if I can, so we still got a ways to go. But we're filling in here pretty nicely. Just gonna keep playing with it. Let's take a little bit off right there. Again, I'm cutting out some of this video. You just gotta take your time, go slow, enjoy the process, fit it in there. This one was way easy. I just drew a line, went to the bandsaw, cut it out, and it just fits. I think I took the plane on it like one time. Look at that. This is the last strip on the hull. The cheaters are done. Everything else is done. This is the last one. So this is traditionally called the whiskey strip because once you get it in there, you're supposed to drink some whiskey. Now, I did this just pretty much like I did the one on the other side. And I taped it on here and then I got underneath. I drew a pencil line. You can see my pencil line there. And then I just kind of stayed outside that line over on the bandsaw. So we're a little too long, but we're not too thin anywhere. So we have some planing to do. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off on this end because it's just a little too long right here. I'm actually going to take this to the belt sander and just get that real fine on the ends. It is time for the whiskey strip. Got some crown. Whew. Oh my. Tradition calls for a shot of whiskey when you complete the hull. So we've got this all fitted. Gonna glue it up. All right, here we go. Whiskey strip. All right. If you like the video, remember to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.